Hello everyone. Welcome to our live inspiration show. I hope you can hear me well, and I hope you are coming here today to watch us live with much of inspiration and curiosity because I'm so excited to announce that today, as our guest, it is Elmira Loftin, and she is a self care boss. She's an international healer. And today she's gonna talk us through how to manifest the best soulmate and how to manifest the best friend in your life, the other half, the other partner. So, Elmira, would you like to introduce yourself, please, for our audience who are are watching us live?
Oh, sure. Well, my name is Elmira. I am known as Dr. E because I actually write love prescriptions. And I live in Nashville, Tennessee, in the United States. And I've been doing this work for years because it's from my own personal self love journey, having to get over childhood drama and trauma, which led me to the place that I am today.
Wonderful. So, would you like to share more about how you ended up to become a self care both self care coach and international healer?
Well, basically, most of it started with my massage therapy journey. I
Mm,
graduated college and got my degree in mass communications, but decided some years later, after having one massage, that I wanted to go and become a massage therapist myself. That's exactly what I did. And once I was in school, and my teachers told me this too, they were like, you have a natural healing touch. I was like, which was foreign to me because growing up in my house, we did not touch, we didn't hug, we didn't really express our emotions, even though I've always been expressive in my home. We were not that. And so, what massage therapy opened up for me was my true self, my true authentic self. And what I was learning, even during my sessions with people, I was talking with them. I was coaching them. They were staying with me for 3 hours. Yes, 3 hour massages because I have a natural gift for allowing people to be their authentic self and really helping them make connections, whether it's connections
mm,
between their childhood and their life, their connections between why do they keep dating the same person, love life, all of this stuff. So that's kind of how I came to be a self-care coach because it was my own personal journey having to get over abandonment, emotional neglect, breakups, all kinds of things led me to this position now.
Wow, that's a wonderful experience and a wonderful story. Thank you so much, Elmira, for being honest and open to share it with our audience. And it's so interesting because it's not only self care, it's not only about having the right person, it's about having that relationship, as you mentioned, with yourself, having that self care for yourself, having that kind and loving and compassionate relationship with yourself, with other people, with family members. And it all starts in childhood maybe, and maybe there were some traumas, as you mentioned, which led to the person to forget how to love themselves. And I completely resonate with what you said there, like in childhood, not being like touchy, not showing that love between family members. And it's really interesting to see how these kind of experience behavior in the past, like in from childhood, lives with people for ages, for years, and lives, and it still are with them when they are adult. And unfortunately, some people do not know how to express themselves, and some people, fortunately, go and learn, and they explore and expand their awareness around self care and self love. So, would you like to share some tools or some things, yeah, that which can help our audience to create this maybe self-care for themselves, and as well, because what I'm a believer of is that how you feel inside is what you mirror outside. And of course, if you feel inside loved, cared of, successful, fulfilled, content, full, of course outside you'll mirror these feelings, and you'll mirror these experiences, and as a result you'll attract the right person that is for you, who will be a support. So would you like to, yeah, to give some tools to our audience? Which one you,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. The first one, we have to know ourselves. What I've discovered with working with clients and even myself, we don't know ourselves. That's why I had to
Mm,
go on this like over 10 years intentional self love journey. So, my first thing, know yourself. Really take out a journal, write down 10 things you enjoy to do, not what your partner said you should do, not what your mom told you you should like, or your dad told you you should like as a child. Because that's one thing I discovered with myself. There were some things I was just doing because society taught me to do that. One of the things I talk about is church, religion, the role of religion in relationships. So in examining this list, let's say you grew up in the church. That was me. I lived next door to the church. What if you don't want to pursue that in adulthood? Make it clear to yourself that that is what you want to do, because what I've noticed, why we can't manifest our soulmate, we're not being true to ourselves because we haven't identified what we want. We're living a life of our 7-year-old self, our 11-year-old self, our 13-year-old self, and it's trapping us. So make that list. That's rule number one. Make the list. And then rule number two, actually do the list. Because a lot of us make lists. We may come see you, Val. We go to
mhm.
go to your coaching, but then we don't apply it. What is the point of the list if you never do anything with the list? Because we'll tell ourselves, oh, I want to go to Morocco. I want to go on vacation. I want to build a house. I want to have a marriage. But what are you doing to truly pursue the things? You have to be actively pursuing it. And I actually have a method that I teach my clients called
Mm,
OCD. It's order, consistency, and discipline. The order is
mm,
making the list. The consistency is how often are you doing those things? Let's say it's a pedicure, for example. You know, you like pedicure. How often are you committing to yourself to do it? And then the discipline is actually doing it. Because I may say, oh, I'm going to go get the once a month pedicure. But soon as my boyfriend or a client or anything, it could be the TV distracts me, I don't go get my pedicure. Don't
mm,
apply the OCD, do the list. Well, number one, make the list. And then number two, do the list.
mm. Love is, love is, and especially having some boundaries, like as you said, what you want to do, what you don't want to do, and being clear on that is really important, because it feels like you raise your self-esteem as well. Your confidence will grow if you do this exercise, and you will be more confident in yourself because you have created those boundaries that protects you from outside world. Wonderful. So two things that Elmira shared on how, first of all, to attract the starting point to attract the best soul and the soulmate in your life is to understand yourself. What do you really want to do? What do you really like to do? I really love this exercise. And what you mentioned there, like I'm teaching fire up confidence formula as well, and one part, an important part of this formula is self-care and self unconditional self-love and acceptance. And exactly what you are doing, Elmira, is a very important thing for a confident version of yourself, for being confident and have a high self-esteem. And it's about that true, not ego, not selfishness. It's about healthy self-care, healthy self-love. As Amira mentioned, pedicure, manicure, and doing your hair, going even for a walk, or doing small things. Start small. If you cannot, um, you cannot do like heavy or expensive stuff now, but start small. Create this habit of having this self-care for yourself, and yeah, magical things will happen. What do you think, Amira?
I think because you know what's been going on in the background, and I have to tell people one of my things is being real. Right before, I'll tell you two things that happened right before this interview. One of them, I lost my keys yesterday, which meant I couldn't get in my apartment. So I'm actually staying with a friend. But right before this interview with you, Val, I found out my computer camera didn't work. So I ended up having to get on my phone. But here's the thing, it was because of my self care routine that I didn't stress, because I've been applying these principles for years, for 10 years, 15 years, whatever. I didn't stress. I knew I have everything I need.
Mm.
I have everything I need. And I really do. Like, my friend has been hospitable. Right now, I'm sitting on her couch because I slept on the couch. But because I'm taking care of me, people will take care of you, whether that is a partner or a friend, your client. And it's like wildfire. It spreads. But if you don't apply the self-care first, people don't know how to treat you. So that's what I say to that. It's because of my self-care routine. I was able to even get prepared, dressed, ready in somebody else's house because I know what I
Yeah.
need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really loved what you touched there. Basically, how you treat yourself is what other people treat you. And having these like self-care activities towards yourself, and self-love, and unconditional and acceptance and peacefulness. It's all about like being feeling content and full and whole within you is what you will attract outside. And if anyone watching us live is looking to manifest their soulmate, is looking to manifest their best friend throughout the whole life, just start with yourself. Start with your self-care. Start loving yourself. Start doing some exercising. Yeah, Elmira mentioned the 10 things that you enjoy doing. I written them down. I'm gonna do those exercises myself, even though I also have a bag of tools which help me to yeah, to keep that self-care within myself, within my life. But still, it's always a learning journey. Still, it's always good to hear and implement what other people do. And yes, going back to self-care, so start being the person you want to have around you. So start like behaving towards yourself as you wish other person, yeah, the other half to treat you. To how, if you wish to have like being treated very well, to be taken care of, start taking care of yourself first. Start giving yourself that love. Start giving yourself that kind words, amazing words. Even, Almira, I'm not sure whether you do that, but I'm gonna share. I'm gonna be vulnerable. Sometimes I even hug myself. I even hug myself and
Yes, me
kiss
too.
myself. This is part of self-care. So this is part of creating that unconditional love for yourself. And do you have any other things that you would like to share to our audience that can help them manifest their soulmate?
Yes. One thing, another thing people need to do, both men and women, but I see this especially with women, we need
Mhm.
to get over our ex. I'm going to say that again. You need to get over your ex. And I actually teach a class on that. I have it coming up on February the 7th. It's listed on Eventbrite. It's called Get Over Your Ex Now. And here's why you need to get over your ex. A lot of us are holding on to the past. We're holding on to that ex-boyfriend, how they treated us, if they abused us, all of these things. We are not able to move on because we have not gotten over our ex. So how can you invite in love if you're still in the past? That's why you need to get over your ex. You need to detach, because some people will think, oh, I got over them years ago, but really you haven't, because you're still attached to, let's say you're attached to his family. You may be still following him on social media. All of these things keep you in the past, and you cannot attract your soulmate. So those are some reasons you need to get over your ex. And my personal story, I held on so long to one of my exes, and it came to a point where I ended up having to burn his letters, and the because I don't even know why I was holding on to the letters that he wrote me. But one day I just set the fireplace and I put all the letters in the fireplace, and it was such a relief. But there's many of us who need to get over our ex, because it's up here and it's in here what we are actually holding on to. If we truly examine our thoughts and our heart, are you holding on to your ex?
Love it. So you can kind of, when you want to create kind of decluttering, when you want to create space for universe to bring something in your life, you just get rid of, and I mean, I'm thinking now things. Before December, before start of new year, I decluttered my office, so completely thrown away all the pages, all the papers and everything like that, which occupy space similar with a soulmate. And I want to bring up an example of my coach, and I hope yeah, she don't mind me sharing this example. But how she manifested her soulmate, she even went further to declutter her room. So the other side of the bed, so the bedside, like she decluttered, so she made space. Even though the soulmate, the person, wasn't in her life, but she made space in the bedroom, she made space in the bathroom. So she left, like she put all her stuff on the side, and there was a small space for his stuff, even though he wasn't in her life. So even going deeper and further, if you really want to manifest the soulmate, just declutter the life, declutter yourself from the exes, as Elmira said, and make space for the new person to come in. You may make space for them to be, for him or her, depending on who you're manifesting, to feel welcomed. Because I remember after she met, and it took her 3 months, I think, to manifest this her soulmate. Honestly, it took
Wow.
her very quickly. And yeah, because she knew all this stuff, how to manifest her, how to manifest, yeah. um and
I
let me finish,
actually
and then yeah.
found I did a similar thing. I what in my apartment, I put up pictures of couples. Like I even
Mm,
had a pictures of couples over my bed, like the my dream relationship, what that looked like. I had a backdrop that was a picture of a couple.
yeah.
So in because what I had noticed was, and this was something my higher self had communicated to me, the pictures I had in my house before were of me. How was I going to manifest soulmate with a whole bunch of pictures of me? So
Yay.
I literally took down those pictures and I put up pictures of couples. And then within months, I was able to, because I also made a list of like 60 things. And what's interesting with the manifestation is if you're not specific, you will get exactly what you asked for. Because I remember
Yeah.
one time I only put 4 things on the list, and I got that guy, but he was not because I didn't identify the 10 or 20 other things. But with my current
Mm,
partner, Terrence, I had a list of things specific, like he's connected with his family. He's been on his career for more than 10 years. I mean, I said he has kind eyes, all of these things, and that's exactly him.
mm,
And it started with putting the pictures of the couples and being
yeah.
specific, going to what I said earlier, being really specific about what you want.
You want. Yeah, and we have a couple of questions, but before we dive into the questions from our live people watching live, I would like to reiterate the example. So basically, going back to my coach's example, and when he came in her life, he was even surprised how much space he had in her house. You know, it was like a surprise for him. So she was ready. She was like fully ready. She was in the faith that he's gonna come in her life. That's an amazing example. And if she could do manifest her partner and soulmate, you can do it too. Another thing what you mentioned, I remember, I think it was a Secret movie. There was an example with similar pictures. There was a painter, and he wanted to manifest his soulmate, the a girl in his life. And when a coach, I don't remember who, went to his place, she saw only pictures around the house, like single woman, like alone on the on the drawings. And she asked him, like, do you have problems with relationships? And he started to
Ah,
open, yeah, he started to open up. And she said, like, I noticed because you have only pictures and drawings with women who are alone, not in a couple. And she advised him to shift it and to start drawing pictures with a couple, with him, with someone. And next time they met, like I'm not sure whether it's the Secret or some other movie that I watched, but it's a miracle. Because next time they met in a year, I think he was already like meeting and going out with someone. So that is amazing. So let's move on into to the chat box. Let's see, I have a question. So Christy would like to connect. Christy, I will tag Elmira under this live, and you'll be easily, and I'm more than happy to connect for you to connect with Elmira. So do you have a soulmate? I think Elmira mentioned that you do have a partner now.
yes. And I'll have to,
Perfect.
because that question asks, do you have a soulmate? On my journey, one of the things I had to learn is how to receive love. And I'll give an example of that because my birthday was just a couple of weeks ago. And I went to New Orleans with Terrence. And the whole trip, he covered the trip. In the past, I would have had trouble receiving that. But he paid for all the food, he did all this. Do you want this? Do you want to go here? We're going to do the ghost tour. I got the tickets. And for me, even on the trip, I still have some, because of my trauma, I still have some remnants of difficulty receiving. But what I noticed in the relationship with him, and even just on this recent trip, I am so much further than, let's say, 15 years ago, because I did the work, I did the self care, I did all the hard stuff. You don't want to, with manifesting your soulmate, you don't want to be doing the hard emotional healing work in the relationship. You want to do that before you get into the relationship.
Absolutely, 1,000% agree. Before is better. Before you work on yourself, you heal whatever needs to be healed from the past traumas, etc., and then you insert these new beliefs in within yourself. You do this mindset work, and then you become clear on who you want to manifest, and keep persisting on that. And other thing that I want to bring up here is when you are in this process of manifesting a soulmate, don't hang up on, is this the guy that is my soulmate? Is that the guy that is my soulmate? So I remember my mentor was mentioning her journey, and it took her almost a year to manifest her soulmate. But in the end, she did manifest, but she told that she remembers how she was so hung up that she's gonna meet him at a certain event. She's Bob Proctor's fan, so she thought she's gonna meet him at his Bob Proctor's events, live events, and so on and so on. She didn't meet him there. And once she realized that she's too much focused on who is gonna be the guy, where she's gonna meet him, too much attached. Sometimes we need to, how it works with the universe. You ask, you detach, and you have a faith, and universe will send it to you. But in her case, it was vice versa. Like, it's similar to when you order something at a restaurant, you order and you wait for the waitress to go to the kitchen to give the order, and then you wait. You have faith that it will come. The food will come on your table. But what happens with when we want to manifest something, a soulmate, a house, a car, we ask universe, and the waitress takes the order to the universe, and then we go after them. We go after the waitress. We check whether the food is being cooked. We check if everything. So that impatience, that like pushiness, I would say, I'm not sure whether there is such word, that impatience doesn't help. So detaching yourself, asking, detaching from where he's gonna or she's gonna come from, will really help to attract, and the universe will send the right person at the right time. Universe, God, whatever you believe in, will
Yeah,
send it
and
at
you
the right
have
time.
to, yeah, Val, you have to detach because that's what I did. I didn't know I was going to meet him at this conference. So I'll give you the quick version of the story. My
Mhm.
one of my cousins who I consider like a spirit guide, and especially since my dad died, he reminds me a lot of my dad. He told me, he said, Elmira, there's going to be this spiritual leader. He goes by the name Brother Panic, but he teaches all about consciousness and developing yourself. And my cousin said, this person is going to be in your city. You need to go. I never knew that man. I never knew who this guy was, but I trusted my cousin. I said,
Mhm.
well, if Ian is telling me to go to this event, I'm going to go to the event. I went to the event, and this is how manifestation works too. On the day of the event, I had a massage client, and that client kept talking to me after the massage. It was almost like she was trying to prevent me from going to the event. And then eventually I said, I have to go. She was holding me up. So I was actually 30 minutes late to hear this guy speak. And I get there, I'm like, am I going to even get in? I don't know. The doors may be shut because I didn't even get my ticket yet. I knew I was going to go. So I get there, there's a line waiting for the tickets. And I finally get up to the front of the line, get my tickets, but the room is full. The conference room is full because everybody's selected their seats. And then I see this one guy just sitting by himself, and there's two seats open next to him. So I go over there and I take a seat. I was like, he looks kind. I don't know anybody here. I don't even know this speaker. My cousin just told me I should come. So I'm sitting there listening to all the information. So meanwhile, think about it. This guy lectures for like 7 hours. So we are at the yes. So he speaks. His wife does chakra balancing and Akashic records and all of that. She gets up and speaks. So throughout the whole day, I'm getting connected to the guy who sits next to me, and he's sharing his M&Ms. He tell me he drove up from Atlanta, and in the United States, Atlanta is about 3.5 hours from where I live. So this guy had drove 3.5 hours to better himself. So that said something in my mind. I'm like, and then he had been following this particular spiritual leader for over 10 years. So it was like, he's interesting. Like, so I actually, at the end, because by this time, Val, it's like 10 p.m. because they've lectured all day, they've sold their products, they've told us all of this great information. I'm hungry, and we're both hungry. And the conference was in my city, and mind you, Terrence had drove up. I said, let's go get Jamaican food because there was a place not far. So we go get the food. We trade numbers, all of that. And then it just developed from there, just started as friendship and then grew. But as you see, all of those pieces had to be lined up. Sometimes we don't listen because we block out, oh, I don't want to go over there. I've never been there. I could have easily said, when my cousin told me to go to the conference, said, no, I don't want to go to that. but I knew something. And then the other part, I'm getting chills as I think about this, because the other part, there was a lot of ones. I do cardiology and numerology, so I pay attention to numbers. There was a lot of ones around this date. The conference was held on January the 11th. The hotel where it was hosted was 1111 something street. So I'm like, what is up with this? Like it was so much going on that day, but that was the start. And it was because, number one, I committed to my list. Number two, I listened and I didn't deny opportunities, just like you were talking about with your coach. She didn't say, oh, even though originally she was like, I'm going to meet him at Bob Proctor event. She's opened herself up and detached. That's what I did as well.
Absolutely. Love it. Thank you so much. Honestly, Elmira, thank you so much for coming live today and for sharing all your knowledge. And for those who are watching us live or on replay and would like to connect with Elmira, and if you have any question to myself or Elmira, I will tag both of us under this live, and you will be able to connect with us easily. And I want to say again, I appreciate for Elmira for finding your time to discuss this amazing topic, and I truly send lots of love to all of those who are watching us on replay or live, and do start with self-care for yourself in order to attract the soulmate in your life, and do apply what Elmira shared, because with small steps you will get there. Doing these small activities, you'll get there, and you'll manifest whoever you want in life. So thank you so much, and I wish you a lovely rest of the day and an amazing weekend ahead. See you next week. Bye bye, everyone.